So my name is Liz Bane. I'm the holistic health coach and founder of Liz Bane Life in Balance. And my mission is to help women get healthier and live their best lives through intuitive eating with clean and plant-rich foods. In addition to doing one-on-one coaching with women and corporate wellness programs, I'm really proud of my cooking class I created, which is very unique, called Always Cooking Clean. So as I mentioned, I'm honored to be here to share my passion for wellness. And again, I want to thank the Maine Women's Board for inviting me. So on a personal note, after spending about 40 years struggling with up and down weight, food choices, nagging sweet tooth, lots of hormonal issues, and other small health issues, I discovered the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, or IIN as it's called. IIN is the largest nutrition school in the world with over 100,000 graduates. And in 2018, I graduated from IIN as a holistic health coach. And my health and well-being has gotten better every single day since then. And 2 years ago, I launched Liz Bane and Life in Balance to be able to share my passion with all of you. And now at the young age of 57, I am finally at peace with my health and my body. So today in our short time together, I want to be able to share with you some of the tips that have worked for me to keep me healthy and sane during this crazy virus that lurks among us, or in the most normal of times, because I'm a big fan of self-care. And so I'm hoping today I can share a few things with you. I'm going to share a lot with you, but I'm hoping a few things stick. So I believe that by nurturing my body and my health, I'm keeping my immune system strong. And the buzzword today is immune system. Everyone's hearing that on the media. And what I did before Corona, during Corona, and I'll do afterwards is take care of my body. And by nourishing my body with really healthy food and self-care methods, I believe I can have a strong immune system. Now, to be clear, I'm not a doctor or scientist, so I cannot give any cures here for Corona or anything like that. But what I can do is share with you what's worked for me in keeping my immune system strong and feeling healthy and happy. So here we go. My top 4 tips for living your best life while doing it at home. Number 1, food is medicine and the grocery store is your pharmacy. And the sooner you can get on board with that way of thinking, the sooner you'll start to look at food differently and begin to nourish your body with real foods, real whole foods, mostly plants. And you're going to hear me say that many times. When we eat real whole foods, mostly plants, we're feeding our good health and longevity. And when we're eating processed, sugary, flour, bad oil foods, we are fueling disease. Everything we eat either nourishes our body for good health or negatively impacts our gut and leads to inflammation and disease. It's really that simple. So my message is this: shift your thinking away from calories. Shift your thinking from like, oh, this avocado has so many calories in it, I can only eat a little bit of it. Or this 100-pack of cookies is a great snack because it only has 100 calories in it. And I want you to shift your thinking to other foods, things like a handful of almonds, chickpeas, a banana with almond butter, hard-boiled eggs, grass-fed burgers, wild rice, quinoa. These are foods are nourishing. They're from the earth and they give you energy and they fuel your good health. And the more you choose the rainbow of vegetables, fruits, legumes, nuts and seeds, gluten-free grains, and the less you eat of processed foods, refined sugars, white flour, and bad oil, the more your body will respond positively. A really important piece of food as medicine, which is really my mantra, food as medicine, is eating clean, green, and organic. So my personal definition of eating clean is read it before you eat it. So what does that mean? The problem with so many food products today is that there's so many hidden sugars and chemicals in the foods we're buying at the grocery store. Just walk down an aisle, pick up a bag of anything, turn it over, and you're going to see 10, 15 ingredients that you can't pronounce and you don't know what they are. Those are man-made chemicals that they're putting in our food to make addictive, and they're doing damage to our bodies. Take a package of low-fat, low-sugar, gluten-free crackers, and they're filled with chemicals to make them taste good because food marketers are trying to sell their products. So they're going to do anything to get you to buy it. So we think, oh, there's no gluten, let me buy it. But you know what there is? There's 10 other chemicals that when you eat those are damaging your gut. Now, not in that one sitting, eating 5 crackers, but over time, all those food products, it starts to add up. So I'm really trying to encourage you to think about shifting away from calories, because I talk to women all the time and they're really focused on the calories. They tell me they don't like to eat beans because there's too many calories or carbs. Beans are good for you. Everything in moderation. You don't want to eat like 2 big cups of beans in a day every day. Everything in moderation. But beans are better for you than a bag of gluten-free crackers that are filled with chemicals. So this is an important shift in our thinking. When you choose to eat from the following 6 food groups, you will be nourishing your body and you don't have to worry about calories and gaining weight. Okay, here we go. Organic vegetables and leafy greens, organic fruit, nuts and seeds, legumes, gluten-free grains, and the protein group, organic chicken, grass-fed beef, and wild chicken. These 6 food groups are filled with the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, fats, protein, carbohydrates that your body craves and your body knows how to process. See, our body and our brain are really smart and they're really connected. So when we eat food from the earth, really good, healthy food, our body knows how to use it to nourish our body and give us energy. When we put food in our body that's got the chemicals and the refined sugar and the bad oils, we don't like, it goes through us and it processes through. But while it's in there, it's slowly doing damage to our bodies. And this damage over years and years and years is what ultimately leads to so much disease. And we ask ourselves when people are getting all kinds of disease in their 50s, 60s, 70s, like, oh, well, it's hereditary, it's genetic, my mother had it, oh, it's just, I just got this, I don't know where it came from. Functional doctors, functional nutritionists, we believe, and science is beginning to show that it comes from the foods we are eating. So clearly I'm very passionate about this. I really believe that the food we eat makes a big difference. So a couple more things. I know you're thinking like, okay, so legumes are high in carbohydrates, carrots are high in sugar, and avocados are high in fat. See, those are the good carbs, the good sugars, the good fats. Our body knows how to use them to give us energy and make us feel good. Okay, a piece of whole wheat bread that we're buying at the store, we think, oh, well, that's carbohydrates, that's good for me. But an average piece of whole wheat bread that we're buying at the grocery store is filled with chemicals and added sugar. And there's other choices. So eventually I'm going to get to my little show and tell I've got here for you. I have about 20 products I'm going to show you that are really good brands. And ultimately we're going to get to this point, we're going to teach you that the brands you buy and the recipes you make can make all the difference. And ultimately, this can get really easy and really fun to do. So I'm going to stop here for a moment and ask if there's any questions about food as medicine and the grocery store as your pharmacy. Abby, are there any questions for us right now?
Not yet, but I have a little.
Okay, great.
Would you mind just repeating that list? I got veggies, fruits, nuts, and then I went blank.
Organic veggies, great question,
Yes.
Thank you. Organic vegetables and leafy greens.
Yep.
Organic fruit, nuts and seeds, legumes, gluten-free grains like rice and quinoa, and our protein family, which is organic chicken, grass-fed beef, and wild fish.
Awesome, awesome. And we actually have a little follow-up question here from one of our board members, Allie. Thanks for chiming in there. Does fish count as a good protein?
100%. Fish is a great protein. Absolutely.
I
There
put the
are
same
some-
question. I said, no fish?
No, there are some fish that are better than others, and I can get into that another time. But if you can find wild fish, wild is much better than farm raised. People hear the word farm and they think it's good. Farm raised is not so great. So try to choose wild if you can.
Great tip. Thank you. Any other questions? Type them right in there. Or you can unmute. Oh, we have another one from Elizabeth. What do you say to your Italian partner who loves bread? What is the solution, the bread solution? I love that.
Great question. Possibly, I would probably just say moderation. I mean, that's, you know, if you've been eating bread your whole life and it's part of your culture and your family and pasta, maybe just think about it in moderation. Maybe not every day. You know, it's kind of like red wine. Women don't want to be drinking red wine every single night. It's really not good for us. So I would do it in moderation. I would try not to do it every day. I know. But if you really want to give it up, that's one thing we can talk about it, but probably just best to cut back a little bit.
Does that answer your question? Elizabeth, unmute, honey. I want to hear from you.
There it is. Hi.
Hi.
So here's the challenge is that it's not once a day. It's with every single meal.
Right.
So is there, like, what are some things I try to replace with, like, some grains? Like sometimes I'll put in a bunch of, like, cauliflower because it's white. It looks kind of like bread. But, you know, things like that. I just wonder if there's some ideas that you have.
There are brands on the market that are better than, so for lunch, if he wants to have a sandwich or something, Siete makes a wrap out of chickpeas, and they also make it out of fava flour and almond flour. Siete wraps are a great option.
Okay.
That,
cool.
You can use at lunchtime or in breakfast, like with your eggs. So Siete wraps are great. And Ezekiel bread, which is what I use, is a grain, is made from really good grains, and it is very, very low in yeast and gluten. So Ezekiel bread is a good option as well.
Awesome. Thank you. That's really helpful.
Good.
Great.
Okay. So I'm going to move on. I have a long list of, not too long, of some really favorite foods. Now, these are very simple foods, and you're not going to walk away saying like, oh my God, that was like, I never heard of that before. But these foods I keep in my fridge all the time. And what they do is they keep me full and satisfied and healthy all the time. So I'm not reaching for potato chips. You know, I'm not reaching for the bad stuff. I'm just reaching for the good stuff because it's always in my fridge. So number one, guacamole. All right. Now you can either make it on your own or you can buy it at the store. I just do 4 avocados, freshly squeezed lemon juice, salt and pepper. There's a lot of other stuff you could add in there, but keep it simple. Okay. Keep it in your fridge, keep it fresh, keep the air out of it with some wax paper. And that way you always have something that's really, avocados are such good fats. And what they do is, even though they go into our stomach is talking to our brain, and we fill our body up with those good fats, our brain calms down and it doesn't crave the sugar. So I keep guacamole in my fridge all week long. I either put it on avocado toast in the morning or I use it in the afternoon with carrots and celery. Great snack. If you go to Whole Foods, if you shop there, their brand of guacamole, the Whole Foods brand, is clean. There's no other bad ingredients in it. But you have to be careful about other brands of guacamole that are filled with other stuff that is not so good. So my second one is hummus. Another great thing that's a great combination of protein and fats. It's filled with garbanzo beans, tahini, olive oil, lemon juice, garlic. So good for you and so great. In the morning, you can take a piece of Ezekiel toast, Put your hummus on it. Put pumpkin seeds, which are great plant-based protein, some cut up grape tomatoes, drizzle with balsamic vinegar, and you have an excellent breakfast filled with fiber, protein, and fats. Okay, now this brand of hummus, Hope Hummus, is clean because now there's about 15 different brands on the market and most of them have bad ingredients. This one is clean and it also comes in about 3 or 4 different flavors. There's a spicy one, an avocado one, but this is the one I recommend. Okay, next. This is one of my favorites. Mary's Gone crackers. Okay, now I was talking about gluten-free crackers before. This is the only one on the market that is clean, okay? It's only made from seeds and brown rice. There's no added sugar, and it comes in 5 different flavors, and I use it for my guacamole and hummus every day, and I love it, okay? My next product is almond butter. Okay, if you buy good quality almond butter, it's pure, good fats and protein. It's an excellent food to fill you up, keep you satisfied, and keep you away from other sugary items. So this brand, once again, is clean, no added sugar. Most almond butters have added sugar and bad oils. So please read the label, okay? I also buy the freshly ground almond butter at Whole Foods. They're both equally as good and as tasty, okay? Next is, if you like yogurt, Lava yogurt. This is a plant-based coconut yogurt that I love. Comes in like 3 or 4 different flavors. It does have about 3 or 4 grams of sugar, but if you eat it early in the day, it's not gonna mess with your sleep or anything, but it's really tasty, very high in probiotics, and very good for your gut. As I mentioned, the Ezekiel bread also comes in many different flavors. 1 piece of Ezekiel bread has 5 grams of protein. So that's a great thing to have in the morning, okay? And it only has like 1 gram of sugar in it. Excellent source of bread. Now, this is another really good thing to keep in the house, okay? If you like to have like a turkey sandwich for lunch, you can use those siete wraps I talked about before. But this, okay, you know if you go to the deli counter, all of those meats behind the deli counter are filled with nitrates and sodium, and it's not good quality. It's certainly not organic, and it's not good quality. All right, so you have to dig a little deeper to find good quality deli meats. This one is great. $3.65 at Whole Foods. There's nothing in here but organic turkey, and you can also get chicken slices. And it also comes like with black pepper or different flavors, things like that. This is a great snack in the afternoon just to have a couple slices of it. Okay, now I don't drink much dairy or cheese or ice cream. It just doesn't sit well with me, so I really try to avoid dairy. So I spent about a year trying every almond milk on the market because I love my coffee. And this is what I came up with. Nectar and Green is locally made here in Boston and is by far the best almond milk you will ever taste, okay? Now, you can buy it only at a few stores in Boston, or you can have it shipped. Unfortunately, though, it's not inexpensive, okay? And I probably spend a small fortune on it on a regular basis. But it is so good, and because my coffee and my milk are so important to me in the morning, I buy it. So, but if you want a less expensive brand of good almond milk, try something called Milk, M-A-L-K. It's in a blue bottle at Whole Foods, Milk, and it's very clean, and all that's in there are almonds, because as you're gonna hear me say on repeat, almond milks on the market today are all filled with sugar and chemicals, okay? So try to find ones that are clean. Okay, now here's another little great afternoon snack, or even for lunch, okay? Some of you are gonna laugh at me. This is funny, but you know what? These are great little tips that get you through the day and keep you full with healthy foods. So here's my bag of organic green beans, right? I usually have about 3 or 4 of them in the fridge at any time. At lunchtime, I'll poke like 3 or 4 holes, stick it in the microwave for 4 minutes, drain out the water, and then I take hemp seeds. Hemp seeds are plant-based protein that taste very nutty. And I sprinkle the hemp seeds all over the green beans, and I drizzle olive oil, salt and pepper, and I eat the whole bag. And it is so yummy and so filling. And you get fiber, good protein, and good fats all in one meal. Okay. So then I want to talk to you about roasting vegetables. Okay. Vegetables are so important for our body. Why? Because they're filled with fiber, plus so much other good stuff. Our body craves fiber. When your stomach gets filled with fiber, it sends a message to your brain that you're satisfied and you don't need anything else. But when we fill our stomach with like a huge bowl of white pasta, even though we're full, our brain is getting a message that says more, right? So that's why we want to choose foods with fiber rather than sort of empty calories. So every night I want you to roast vegetables. I want you to chop 3 different vegetables, cauliflower, carrots, broccoli, whatever you love, chop them up, put them on a tray and drizzle avocado oil. Now, why avocado oil? Because avocado oil does much better at a high heat. So you're roasting at 400, 450. Avocado oil does much better, whereas olive oil does not handle high heat as well. So I like to use it for salad dressings, or if I steam vegetables, I drizzle the olive oil afterwards. Okay? Another one of my favorite products is Lundberg Rice. Now, what's the difference between this and all the other brands of rice? Well, it has been said, now I can't prove this, but I'm just sharing with you what I read, that a lot of rice sometimes it has stuff in it, whether it's shreds of plastic or fillers, but Lundberg Rice is known for being the cleanest rice on the market. I love their wild rice. I'll make a big pot of it on Sunday, and I use it throughout the week for lunch with my green beans or with my roasted vegetables. Okay, now I've saved the very best immune boosting food for last. And if you do nothing else, go out and buy this. All right, have you heard of bone broth? Bone broth, different than chicken soup, okay? Different than chicken soup, different than chicken broth. Bone broth is a healing food, okay? This is what it looks like. Pacific organic chicken bone broth. All right, and bone broth, this is how it's made. They take chicken bones, not with the meat on it. They take the chicken bones from a whole chicken. They take onions and garlic, and they boil it, and then they simmer it for 24 hours. And guess what happens? Out comes something called collagen into the soup. And it is the collagen that goes into our body and heals our gut. See, our gut starts at our tongue and goes all the way through our body, all the way out where we go to the bathroom. And our gut gets tiny little cracks in it. And that's a result of bad food, toxins, stress, antibiotics, okay? Now, too many cracks in your gut, that's what ultimately leads to the inflammation and disease. But if we do things like this that heal our gut and drink a lot of bone broth, which has all this collagen in it, that can help heal our gut. Okay, I think I'm almost done with all my show and tell on that side. Okay, so you see there's a theme here. Real whole foods, mostly plants, proteins, fibers, nutrients, vitamins, and there's not a processed food or sugar in the mix. So how are we doing, Abby? Any questions out there?
Oh, we have lots of good questions.
Oh my God, there's 16 questions.
Are you ready? Don't panic. I'm going to give them to you one at a time. Are you ready? Okay. So we have a really good one from Julie. Where can you find the Hope brand hummus? I'm guessing that is at Whole Foods.
Whole Foods. I was not able to find it at Shaw's.
Okay.
I know it's at Whole Foods, but I don't know if it's at other grocery stores, but you can certainly get it online if you can't find it at another grocery store.
Great. Thank you. Next, is there a big difference between clean peanut butter and almond butter?
So the thinking is that peanuts are not a nut. They're actually a legume, okay? And the functional medicine doctors that I follow, that I subscribe to, really think that peanuts are really not so good for you. Okay, that if you're going to choose nuts, it's better to choose almond and cashews and pistachio. But if you're going to choose peanut butter, and most people just love peanut butter, so I really don't poo-poo it, but if you're going to choose peanut butter, please make sure it is clean and there's not bad oils and sugar in there.
Great, great. And we have a follow-up question about those nut butters. What about making your own breads and nut butters from scratch? I'm guessing that would work too.
I mean, yeah, as long as you're using clean ingredients and you're not adding a lot of, bad stuff, fantastic. I love doing stuff at home. Yeah.
We have a lot of time for good projects like that right now, don't we? Crushing nuts in the kitchen. I like it. So what are your thoughts about frozen vegetables?
Thumbs up. So my daughter, Allie, who's on here somewhere, has told me, she actually taught me that you can go to Walmart and you can buy in their frozen section organic vegetables.
Mm-hmm.
And organic vegetables are just as good as fresh. Okay. I promise.
Organic frozen,
Organic
I would
frozen,
choose that over just the regular fresh in the grocery store.
Okay, so now when I follow up with you tomorrow, I'm going to send you lots of great information. One of the things I'm going to send you is something called the Dirty Dozen and the Clean 15. The Dirty Dozen are 12 fruits and vegetables that have the most pesticides on them that you really want to try to buy organic. But the Clean 15, those have really thick skins. And you know what? If you want to buy the non-organic, it's probably okay. So you don't have to feel that you have to buy all fruits and vegetables organic. And frozen is great.
Awesome. I want like a little wallet card that has that information all in one place so I could take it to the grocery store and bring it around.
Well, I recommend people, when I send it to you, put it in your notes section in your phone. So it's always with you.
That's a really great idea. Yeah, that's great. Okay, so we've got another one here. It is, are there some benefits to bone broth as powder collagen?
Oh, powder collagen that you put in a smoothie is excellent. As long as it's a good quality product, great. And by the way, I didn't mention that I always cook my rice and quinoa with bone broth. So it's another way to get it into your body.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I do that too. If I make a soup, I'll add some chicken stock and then some chicken bone broth instead.
Abby, wait, I'm glad you said chicken stock. When you go to the grocery store, ladies, this box comes in like 12 different things. It comes chicken stock, chicken broth, chicken soup. Okay, it has to say bone on there. It has to say bone broth. Because most people buy the wrong one at first.
Gotcha. Thanks for clarifying that.
Okay.
So great. Awesome. Well, I think we have one more. Julie says, Mom, feel free to share about my peanut story.
Yeah, somebody asked about peanuts before. Yeah, my daughter Julie used to live on peanuts. She'd have peanut snack bars and peanut butter, and she loved her peanuts. But unfortunately, her face always had hives. So I encouraged her to do a food sensitivity test. And when it came back, it said, number one thing that she cannot tolerate are peanuts. So some people she doesn't have a nut allergy. She just has a high sensitivity to peanuts.
Interesting. Now, you said something about sending away and doing like a sensitivity test. Is that something that you recommend people do if they feel like they might be sensitive?
100%. If you are having issues, bloating, skin issues, migraines, one of the first things I'd look at is taking a food sensitivity test. And they range in price, and I can talk about this a little bit more later, but it's a great start to figuring out if there is a food that you're eating that's not working with your body.
Great. Thanks for that. Okay. Well, I think we got through all the questions. Any other ones before we move on? Great. Back at you, Liz.
Okay. So here's my number one secret wellness tip. And it is a secret, so it's just between us girls. Don't share it with anybody. And it is green, dark leafy greens, okay? Dark leafy greens are the embodiment of food as medicine, okay? Head to toe medicine. And I want you to eat, this is how much I want you to eat, 3 cups of dark leafy greens a day. My sister Jennifer in Chicago is like rolling her eyes at me right now, but that's okay. I love her. But seriously, dark leafy greens, spinach, arugula, kale, Swiss chard, so good. It fights inflammation. It beats your bloat. It fills you up. It's filled with vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So many of you may know, if you follow me on Instagram or you're a friend of mine, I subscribe to salad for breakfast every day. I really believe in the power of salad for breakfast. I really believe in savory for breakfast, because when we eat sugar in the morning, we're kind of chasing that sugar high all day long. I try to have no sugar in my breakfast, okay? So right now, I'm gonna give you a little show and tell of how I do salad for breakfast in the morning, super fast. Because everybody always says to me, Liz, I don't have time to make a salad in the morning, because everybody thinks it's a big thing. But if you keep these products in your kitchen on a regular basis, you don't even have to think about this. Okay, so first and foremost, my dark leafy greens. I've got spinach and arugula mixed together. Now you can go to Whole Foods, you can go to any grocery store and find these packages. Buy whatever you love, but buy several of them, okay? This is spinach and arugula. The darker ones are even better for you. Okay, so I've got my leafy greens. I open up this package and I take 2 big handfuls on a big dinner plate. So lots of greens in the morning. Then I open up my organic cherry grape tomatoes. I just rinse off 5 or 6, throw them in a salad. If I have time, I cut them in half. Otherwise, just throw them in. Then my purple cabbage. This is like my new best friend, okay? Purple cabbage has more fiber in it than you can imagine. All right, so if you're not used to a lot of fiber, just eat a little bit at a time. But slice off a chunk, chop it up, throw it in there. It adds so much crunch and flavor. It's actually the crunch. It's just so delicious, okay? Then, here's my favorite. This is my nut Tupperware. I encourage everybody to make a nut Tupperware. I'll tell you what's in there. Cashews, pistachios, almonds, macadamia, and walnuts. Now, each nut was specially bought, okay? Because nuts, like everything else, are cooked with bad oils and other stuff in them. You have to buy the raw organic nuts and you have to read the package to make sure there's nothing else in there. So then I mix them all up, put them in my Tupperware. And in the morning, once I have my greens, my tomatoes, and my cabbage, I take a handful, not a huge handful, but a nice handful, and I throw it on top. These nuts are giving me the fats and proteins I need for energy, okay? Now I have my salad. Now I take out my salad dressing that I've made. I make it maybe twice a week. Freshly squeezed lemon juice, extra virgin olive oil, Dijon mustard, salt and pepper. Shake it up and it sits in my fridge really nicely for 3 or 4 days. I pour it on my salad and I am good to go. And the whole thing took me maybe 3 minutes. Okay, that's assuming you keep all this stuff on hand, you have your salad dressing made, make it on Sunday, and then you have this amazing breakfast that fills you up and is feeding your good health, okay? And you're not chasing sugar all day because you had a sugary breakfast. Abby, any questions about salad for breakfast?
We do have a couple of questions, yes. So one was about the food sensitivity test, just kind of looping back around to that.
Sure.
Julie was wondering if food sensitivity tests are really scientifically proven, and do you have them done at your medical provider's office, or is it something that you do kind of online?
That's a very good question. And I've actually found success with the home sensitivity ones that you send away for. I think that they are probably like pretty good, okay? And if you do that first and find that dairy is really upsetting your stomach and you cut out dairy for a month and you feel a lot better, then voila, success. Yeah. But if you do one of those and it doesn't work for you, then you want to go back to your doctor and he can prescribe it for you. The thing is that what I do recommend is possibly working with a nutritionist or a health coach just for 1 or 2 sessions to figure out what is the best at home or with your doctor test, and then to be able to read the results afterwards. Because if it comes back and says dairy is really bad for you, for a lot of people that's very overwhelming. Well, what does that mean? I can never eat cheese again. So I was going to get to this a little bit later, but I'm going to say it now to make sure that everybody hears it. To thank you for joining me today, and I really appreciate you all being here. I am offering a free 30-minute health history consultation with all of you by phone anytime over the next 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. And I'd love to hear from you, and I'd love to hear what your challenge is, and show you what it's like to work with a health coach. And I would be able to answer some of the questions that are popping up here like crazy. So I'll mention that again at the end, but that's an option, and that's where I can talk to you more about these food sensitivity tests.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, we got another one. Ooh, this is a fun one. I get a pain in my side with dark leafy greens in my smoothie. I also tried a cooled Swiss chard, and I still got the pain. What can I do? Any ideas on that?
Well, I would need to know what are the other ingredients in the smoothie.
Definitely. Yeah, so there's some dissecting.
All the ingredients in there, dissected, and really talk about what else the person is eating during the day, what they ate the day before.
Good, Tammy Sample. You got to get on that free call with Liz.
Tammy, okay, so Tammy's a good friend of mine. Yeah, Tammy, let's talk about it, and we can talk about it offline, but we'll talk about your smoothies and we'll break it down.
Great. Allison wanted us to go over really quickly what else was in your nut bin. I know we had cashews, pistachios, almonds, walnuts, macadamia nuts?
And macadamia and Brazil nuts. I didn't mention Brazil.
Ooh, and Brazil.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Great. Okay, so we have another one. What about eggs in the morning?
Oh.
Eggs in the morning.
Okay. Eggs are an excellent source of protein. Now, we all know that there's a lot of noise out there about eggs. Eggs are bad, eggs are good, okay? Eggs are good if you buy the right brand, okay? The right brand is organic, pasture-raised. And there's several brands out there. This is Vital Farms. That's just one. But if they're organic and pasture-raised, they're great. But conventional eggs from conventional farms are not great. Now, I don't have time right now to go into it, but I would just encourage you to buy the right kind of eggs. And that way you can eat them every day for breakfast.
Great, thank you. I think that's all the questions. Oh wait, we have one more from Nicole. How do you feel about eggs and meats from a local farm?
Great, thank you. So I was just about to move into that. Actually, that was literally my next question.
Well, there's your lead in. Thank you, Nicole.
Thank you, Nicole. My clients are always asking me about organic, and the answer is yes, yes, and yes. So we talked a little bit about fruits and vegetables, avoiding pesticide, buying organic. But when you buy chicken and meat, okay, from a conventional farm, from a conventional non-organic farm, that meat can very often have antibiotics, hormones, and other fillers in it, okay? When you buy organic, you're buying a product that has nothing else in it except the actual meat itself, okay? Now, those antibiotics and those hormones, those go into your body, and those are doing damage just like the pesticides from fruits and vegetables. So I highly recommend grass-fed beef, organic chicken, and wild fish. Now, if you're buying from a local farm and you know the farmer and you know how he operates his farm and he doesn't buy the organic stamp because it's too expensive, but he's a good local farmer and you know him, great. I love supporting local. But for me, I'm very particular about the chicken and fish and everything I eat. So I actually, some of you might think I'm crazy, I actually don't eat chicken and meat at restaurants because 90% of the time it's not organic, right? And I just don't want to put that in my body. I will get a piece of salmon. It's probably not wild, but that is what I choose to do. I choose to get the salmon, but I don't eat the chicken and meat. So please consider shifting your purchases from non-organic meats to the organic meats. It does make a big difference. So Abby, I'm going to show a recipe now that I'm going to send you tomorrow, but is a family favorite of mine, okay? And actually, Abby, I'm going to try to move on because we've been having so much fun, but we only have like 15 minutes left, and there's a couple more things I want to get through. So Every week I make, on rotation, my gluten-free, dairy-free pasta bolognese, okay? Everybody loves it. It's totally clean and very yummy, okay? And we start with my jovial gluten-free pasta. The only ingredient in this is brown rice. Very clean, very yummy, okay? Then we've got my roused tomato sauce, also very clean, no bad ingredients or sugar, and it's delicious. It comes in arrabbiata and other flavors, okay? This is unique. Applewood organic sausage. Applewood organic chicken sausage. This tastes delicious, and it's 100% organic and clean. No fillers, no sugars, just good flavors. So what I do is I make this sauce with onions and carrots and celery, and I use organic ground turkey and the sausage. I mix it all up. I put the sauce on top, and I make the pasta. And it is delicious and filling and clean and healthy, okay? So I'm gonna send you that recipe tomorrow, and you're gonna love it, and your family's gonna love it. All right, now, I have so much information that I didn't get through, and I think I'm going to talk about sugar for 1 minute, and then I'm gonna move on, okay, to the next topic, which is, okay, so we all have a love-hate relationship with sugar, right? We love it, but we know it's not so great for us. So I was listening to a webinar last week by Dr. Mark Hyman, who is a very famous functional doctor. He wrote a book called Food, What the Heck Should I Eat? I gave my copy to my client, so that's why I'm showing you this. I recommend everybody buy it. Food, What the Heck Should I Eat? It dispels every nutrition myth out there, and it's great, great information. Okay, on his webinar last night about COVID-19, he had a guest, Dr. Sarah Boham, and she is a nutritionist, physician, and cancer survivor. And this is what she had to say about our immune system during the coronavirus. Sugar feeds the virus. Those are her words, not mine. Sugar feeds the virus. Now that's really powerful. So what does that mean? It means that refined sugar, brown sugar, coconut sugar, high fructose corn syrup, rice syrup, all of those sugars, they're negatively impacting our gut and eventually our immune system. Now, a little a day is fine, okay? A little a day is fine, guys. A little honey in your tea, things like that. But too much hurt will eventually damage your immune system. So we want to take a look at our sugar. And I do whole corporate programs on how to detox from sugar. So if this is something you're interested in cutting back on your sugar intake, tweaking your diet, learning more about food as medicine, join me for one of those 30-minute free health history calls. I would love to talk to you. Okay, great. So I've been talking a lot about food as medicine. And now we're going to move on to the other 3 things that help keep you happy and healthy and sane during this crazy time we're living in. And that is, 1, getting better sleep. Sleep is extremely important for our immune system. Okay? And I have a couple of good tips on how to get a really good night's sleep. Because honestly, I'm not a great sleeper, so I've had to work really hard at finding things that work for me. And one of the best things is this. Magnesium glycinate. Now, I don't usually promote supplements because, like I said, I'm not a doctor. This is an over-the-counter supplement. But magnesium is a nutrient that our body needs, but 80% of Americans are deficient in magnesium. And what it does is it helps your muscles relax at night. So I take 200 milligrams before bed, and it really works for me. Now, please don't run to CVS and pick this up tomorrow because the CVS brand is not worth buying. If you're going to buy supplements of any kind, please buy really high quality. And again, that's something I'd be happy to talk with you about, and I can recommend some really good qualities. But Parsley Health is my favorite brand by far. Okay. Sunshine in the morning, like 8 o'clock in the morning, for at least 20 minutes, is great for our brain and helping us sleep because Our sleep is predominantly regulated by hormones. And melatonin is one of those hormones. That's why a lot of people take melatonin at night. But melatonin is a natural hormone in our body. And when we go outside in the morning, the sunshine sends a message to our brain that has the melatonin decrease, so that naturally it will increase in the evening to help us sleep. But if we stay indoors all day and we don't get natural sunlight, the melatonin doesn't necessarily get the right messaging. So that's why sunshine in the morning, even if you go outside and it's cloudy, you're still getting some sun rays, okay? You want to keep your room cool and dark, 68 degrees or colder. Our bodies sleep better in the cold. And if you have any ambient light shining in your room, from a fan, from your TV, from a humidifier, you want to cover those lights. Those lights are actually negatively impacting your sleep. Okay? All right, I'm going to jump on to number 3, moving every day. We all know, this is not something I'm telling you that you don't know, we all know we need to move every day. And especially now, because we're not running all day. We're used to getting up, running, driving, going, doing all day long. Now, most of us are just sitting at home. Maybe we're going for a walk, but we're not doing a whole lot else. Okay? So number 1, obviously, walk. Listen to a podcast, book on tape, get outside, walk. Find a friend. We'll find your partner, whoever you're social distancing with or quarantining with, walk with them. But if you're not aware, there are now hundreds of online videos that are free. And you can literally work out from the comfort of your own living room. And if that's not working for you, and I can certainly offer some great advice on some good ones, but if that's not working for you, this is what I recommend. Find yourself an accountability buddy. And it doesn't have to be somebody that you're quarantining with. Find somebody that's also looking to move 2, 3, 4 times a week, but can't find the motivation. And create a deal with each other. Set something up. Say, Monday, I'm going to get you off your butt, and Friday, you're going to get me off. And we're going to do this together. And we're going to watch this video, or we're going to do it together. But work with a friend. Because just as much as it's important for our body, our brains need to move, because that's when we start to get a little cuckoo, when we don't move enough. Okay? Now, I'm going to move on to the last, but probably the most important thing we can do for ourselves during this time at home, okay? And that's about finding calm, right? Right now, every one of us on this Zoom call, everyone in the world, our routines have been thrown up in the air. Our eating routines, our work, our kids, our schooling, everything's upside down. And so that naturally is causing anxiety and stress. So it's really important that we find strategies to lower that stress. And that can be different for everybody, okay? So meditation is honestly the best thing for the mind, body, and soul. Now, it's not for everybody, and I know that. And I'm not saying everybody has to go do meditation today. But if you've ever even thought about it for a minute, now's your opportunity. Now's your chance to really try to start a meditation practice. My favorite app is called Insight Timer. And by the way, you know that there's like hundreds of apps for your phone, but my favorite is Insight Timer. And on that app, there are hundreds of beautiful meditations. And you don't have to sit there like quietly just listening to your breath. You can listen to a guided meditation. You can listen to music. You can listen to a mantra. You can listen to chanting. There's so many beautiful things to listen to. Now, on a personal note, my home was always very calm and quiet. But as of the start of this coronavirus, the stress in my house is through the roof. Why? Because my husband and daughter are both on the front lines of the healthcare workers, right? My daughter is a nurse on the corona floor at a hospital, and my husband is the CEO of a big nursing home company. So you can imagine the stress. It's high. So for the first couple of weeks, I ran around like a chicken with my head cut off. And I finally realized I had to do something. And my normal yoga and exercise wasn't working. So I have adopted a daily meditation practice. I have found this beautiful mantra that I listen to. It's 13 minutes. I love it. And it's actually helping. And I have to stick with it. It's not going to be easy, but I'm going to try to stick with it because it is helping me stay calmer and it's helping me sleep. So I really encourage you to find something out there that will help you find peace of mind. I have two other things to say about that before I wrap up. Brené Brown is a brilliant lecturer and author. She has a podcast, and her recent podcast was called Comparative Suffering and the 50-50 Myth. And she talks specifically about the family dynamic during Corona and how incredibly challenging it can be. So if you're struggling with how to manage in your home with all the people and the stress, take 25 minutes on a walk and listen to Brené Brown's podcast. You won't regret it. And last but not least, you might find this to be a funny point, but we need to stop complaining. You know, it's really hard for all of us, okay? Every single person's life has been turned upside down. And it might be a little harder for you and a little less hard for me, and it might be this for him and that for her, but everybody's life has been turned upside down. But complaining about it will not help it get better. And all it really does is upset the people around you and make you feel worse. When we talk positively and we show gratitude and we express our gratitude, we feel better and we feel better, and the people around us feel better, and we lift people up. So let's try to cut back on the complaining, bring in the gratitude, try to meditate, dance in your living room, tell a joke, play some cards, have some fun. Let's make the best of it. Let's feel good about ourselves. We have an opportunity to make our life better now. It just takes a little thought and time. I love speaking with you guys today. You might not know this is my first ever webinar, and I really appreciate how great you guys all were. I'm happy to stay on for another half an hour, answer any questions, but please take me up on my offer. You can find me on Instagram at Liz Bane Life in Balance. I'm going to be emailing all of you tomorrow with all this great follow-up, so you can respond to that email if you want to set up a time to meet with me. So I am grateful for all of you for your time and attention, sending lots of good love and energy your way. Thank you.
Liz, thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. Thank you so much, Liz. We really appreciate you being here today. And like we said, we'll send a little follow-up information with some details, some links. I don't know about any of you, but I took a lot of notes. Show me your notebook. I know you took notes. I know you did. Yes. So we'll follow up with you soon, everyone. Have an amazing evening. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you so much, Liz. This was great.
Thanks, Jody. Thanks, Tammy. Thanks, Amy. Bye, Jenny.
That was phenomenal. Thanks so
Allie.
much.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Maria.
Liz.